you know that we just finished the second dimension, and we're going into the third dimension, which
Yes.
is, do you remember what is that dimension? The next one? Yep.
It is respect because of care model. So we are in the R now, which is the third dimension that consists of couple of skills.
Exactly. So respect is more, it has to do more on the emotional side, more the psychological part.
Okay.
Remember that just like, a human being has, the intuition that comes with the connect, the brain, and the, control that comes with the attention.
Right.
um, they have also the will to change, to do things with empowerment, but they also have emotions, right? And they have things that they like, things that they don't like, things that make them feel safe, and things that don't make them feel safe. So that's what we're gonna see in this chapter, that every person is different. So remember that one of the first things that we mentioned in the first chapters is that we had to provide kind of a customized experience for the employees, because every employee is different. And the only way to do that is to building empathetic one-on-one relationships, right? So there's
Yeah.
no way that you can get to know what your employee needs specifically if you just, treat every employee as they were equal. All right. If you just
Right.
provide everyone with the same training, you provide everyone with the same speech, you provide everyone with the same feedback, that's not how it works. Remember that we talked that some people prefer feedback on the phone, some prefer Zoom, some others prefer to see you. It varies, some prefer you to be more tough, some others prefer you to be more careful on how to say things. Everyone is
Absolutely.
so different. So if you don't adjust to that, what happened is that some people will follow you and some other will not. And
Mhm.
that's where we always have, in most organizations, we have the top performers, and then the rest is just being there, waiting for something to happen so that they can go to another company, or
Right.
waiting for a miracle for them to grow. And that's
Right.
not what we want. What we would like, at least what we culture is about, is that everyone in the team has the right to grow, to develop themselves, and they have great strengths that they need to show. That is our task as the leader to uh, provide the resources for that to happen. That's our main thing. So remember that we said that it's not about we providing all the answers. It's not about we telling them what to do. So there are many things that we used to do as leaders that we thought that was our role. And now we're figuring out that what we need more is to help people unleash their strengths,
Right.
mm, and help them interact with others in a better way. So the way we can do that is by, again, building empathetic one-on-one relationships, promoting team psychological safety so that they are feeling safe being who they are, and not just changing or hiding parts of themselves so that they can fit, and embracing diversity, equity, and inclusion. Mm. What matters here is that, again, everyone is different, but they all have great things to show. But if we don't provide a safe space, or we don't embrace diversity, they will not be willing to show all these things, because they make them feel
Yeah.
that they don't belong. So that's kind
Right.
of what we need to work on. Okay.
Sure.
So let's go with the skill number 7, which is how to build this empathetic one-on-one relationship. So there are many researchers on this, and a Google research shows that higher scoring managers are more likely than lower scoring managers to have frequent one-on-one meetings with their team members. So this is one of the first studies that we see that where when we're having more frequent meetings, just one-on-one with the employees, we are more successful.
Right.
Mhm. So tell me about you. How are you working with your employees? Are you having one-on-one meetings? How often? Are you waiting just for the annual performance review, or you have your own schedule, or who
Okay.
initiates that?
Very nice. I usually I do two different things. I do walk and talk activity. So sometimes I do that intentionally, but I take it in a casual manner, in which I just get out of the office and take one of the team member non-intentionally and take a walk and talk. So walking around, especially our offices, we have a time to take us around. So that's the time where we take even like a coffee of tea, and we talk what you do, blah 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 blah. Take it in a casual matter where they can vomit what they have of even whatever stress or things. That's the one dilemma. Another thing is, uh, as I'm managing three different departments of a weekly scheduled meeting with every single department, all of them, regardless from the down to up, all of them, we sit together and we involve them. So that kind of communications build really a good relationship.
Mhm.
Um, um, Basically, I think the only thing is I need to spend more time as couple of the team member as junior, and I need to grow them up with a lot of skill sets. So that's probably what I need to work
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So there, by talking to them, you can find out what are the issues where are struggling, or what are the skills that they need to develop. Mm-hmm.
on. Right,
Which
exactly.
can be different from others. Some may need to work on delegation, while others may need to work on self-organization, or different things. So it's good that you can develop these relationships so that they can be truthful to you and tell you exactly how they feel, and you can understand exactly what they need. Mhm.
Exactly.
So the problem that we're seeing is that even though all these researches show that one-on-one meetings are better and that are useful, apparently employees are saying that they don't receive enough feedback from their manager. So only 7% said that they receive it daily. 19% said that they receive it a few times a week. 27% that they receive it a few times a month. So there are many people that receive only a few times a year, or once a year or less. Mm. So basically, the findings are that feedback is really bad. It's not working the way it
Absolutely.
should be working. So maybe leaders say, well, I'm doing one-on-ones, but sometimes it's just, how are you doing? And fun, something very basic, and they don't go to what really is going on. So I've had many clients that come to me because they don't know how to deliver difficult conversations. Don't know how to give bad feedback. Most of them, they just don't know how to do that. They struggle. They don't want to hurt the other person. They feel like it's not going to change anything. So and if you don't deliver the bad feedback, or what's not working well, that person will never improve, will never change. So uh, and if you don't do it, who is going to do it? Right? There's no
Absolutely.
way. Yeah, the employee may get frustrated, but there are many ways that you can deliver that so that it's efficient, but it needs to be delivered somehow. Mm. Also, the other problem is that many leaders feel like, okay, I need to give them or tell them what is wrong, but they never internalize and try to think, what is it that you are doing wrong? Because usually, it's intertwined. So whatever they are doing wrong, maybe there's something that you could do better to help them. So, always how you approach the meeting can change a lot their results, basically. Mm.
Sure.
So what we need to consider is that this is something that we saw before, is that empathy is basically what is going to link everyone together. Mm.
Yeah.
So empathy is why it's going to pull all these people together to be in this diamond, in this team, and grow together. If we have no empathy, so we don't understand exactly what the person is going through, it's not gonna work. So in many cases,
Right.
leaders just expect, the reason why a leader is there usually is because they were good individual contributors. So
Yeah.
they know how to work, they know how to follow through, they know how to follow steps, but they don't understand what other people cannot do the same way. So empathy is very important here, because you need to understand why the other person is not able to do what you want them to do. Maybe they can't, maybe they are distracted with something else, maybe it's their personality and they are good for something else. But it's very important that the leader try to understand, what's going on with the other person. They are not like me. They
Absolutely.
don't have the same expectations. I need to define expectations, even though I think it's normal and it's, how it should be. It's not how it is sometimes. So
Yes, agree.
it's important to
Agree with
define
you.
those expectations.
Yeah. Yeah. What is nice actually about the diamond one is you flip it down, which is you put the customer or the client in the top and the rest is interchaining. That's what I like when you flip the diamond.
Yes, yes, because it's that's this game changing, because you really realize that it's not that the executives or the owners have all the tools. They are not here. They should be there, just like a leader, to help everyone else, to support
Absolutely.
them. But the communication goes up and down. It's not just that the
Sure.
executives will tell
Sure.
them what to do. The communication has to go from customers, from the teams, from suppliers, from the community. Everyone should be able to participate to build a company. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the question is how to give this one-on-one feedback. Why it is so difficult. So what we're recommending is try to have a coaching approach. So it's been proved that a coaching culture has uh, been able to improve productivity and engagement. So what basically is coaching? Coaching is that you are giving the power to change to the person. So it's not that you are telling them, okay, this is, the feedback is just for me to tell you what you're doing wrong or what you're doing fine. But we're going to have a conversation together on what is needed. What do you think you need? Where do you want to be, and how can and help you get there? What do you need to get there? And remove all the blocks, but focusing on the results, on what's wrong, or what is the metric that you didn't meet this time. That's just hurting the person. It's putting this person in a negative state, which doesn't help them to grow. It's a threat for them.
I see.
So basically, what we need to do is focus on the future, on a positive future. What are the needs? What are the things that they want to do? What are the things that they want to improve, and help them on that? But they need to be the ones that choose what's going on. If you choose
Right.
for them, then you are disengaging them. So you are not motivating them. So they need to get internal motivation, but the way to that is give them the choice. So that's the magic thing. That's why coaching is different from a different
Mentoring.
type of conversation.
Right. I have a
Yeah.
question here.
Yes.
Um, I have an employee. Uh, she is smart when she do things. The only thing is her body language and communication not that high really. It's not an effective communication. So I sit with her primarily beginning of the year and I suggest for her to attend a communication skills training or workshop. And then she look at it unfortunately from negative perspective in which she said, would you think I am bad communicator?
Mhm.
I think I am a good communicator. So she didn't look at it as an opportunity to improve rather than an criticism way.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, and I
Effect.
know, yes, and I know that she needs improvement, particularly in body language and thoughts. So, I want to see your perspective to this type of conversation.
Well, you have to address the conversation to see, what is she, because you know that she's not being able to achieve something because of that. So you just have to start digging, asking her questions about how she feel, about how she talks, what, trying to her identify that, because I'm sure that she knows that. She knows that she's not that good, but it's bad to hear them from someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, um, so one of the things that you could do, I remember that I talked to you about this, is maybe I can have a coaching session with her and try to see what she's thinking. You can do it too, but
Mhm.
sometimes when you are already the leader, when you're already working with her, and
Mhm.
if you already had this conversation and it didn't work, it's really hard to go back and capture her attention again, because
Right.
she already knows you and she already knows what you have in mind, and she's already threatened by that. So
Uh-huh.
one thing you can do is learn code skills. Okay, which I'm gonna teach you some things today. Maybe some of those you can start working with her and see if that changes. If not,
Okay.
maybe you need a coach outside the company to see what's really bothering her. But we need to understand if there must be something that she is not happy about because of that, and that's what we need to try to discuss. Maybe
Right.
she's not getting through with her ideas. Maybe she's proposing ideas and she's not, no one is listening to her, right?
Yeah.
Try to think what's the impact on what you're saying. No, because she's like that, no one is listening to her, or no one is following her
Right.
proposal
Right.
or something. So maybe we can start asking, so what do you think, it's getting in the way? What do you think you are doing that makes people not hear you? And maybe she can say,
Yes.
well, sometimes I get excited, and speak too
Yeah.
loud. Okay.
Absolutely.
hmm so you put it on her. That's
Yeah.
kind of the coaching approach.
Right. Right. Right.
Um,
Right. Yeah. So
so
open questions.
yes, questions, and let her figure it out. It may take
Okay.
longer, but the way I saw, or the way you told me you handle this, maybe we need to talk more about how you handle this. But you didn't mention to her exactly what was wrong. You just, when you tell someone, okay, why don't you go to these classes? you- they automatically think, okay, so you think I'm bad at this, but you are not very direct on what is it that you are seeing. How do you see this is impacting other people? Maybe you also have to try to really be,
Yeah.
transparent and say, this is what I'm seeing. Do you think
Mm.
this is real? Do you see the same thing? You don't? And just a conversation. I'm not telling you this is wrong. This is
Okay.
when people get on the defensive, No,
Right.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah. 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 Sure.
Mhm.
Got
So
it.
different approaches. But coaching, it's one of the best ways to develop a person. Especially young people are looking forward to get developed more than anything else in a job. So yeah, they want the money, but once they get the money, they want development.
Yes.
Well, again, you can send her to these trainings, right? It's a general training that a lot of people took,
Okay.
but it's not talking to her. Sometimes they are smart, or they are I don't know. Sometimes they realize, but they will tell you no. I don't know. But sometimes they just don't understand what is the course about, or the course is not very specific on what they need to change. So I say, okay, yeah, this is good, but it doesn't. They don't see that there's something that they need to change. And that's the problem with trainings nowadays.
Exactly.
It's this is a one-on-one training, right? But if you're doing a training with 30 people, it's just basic content that no one really feel like is for them. because there are things that are for them, but there are things that are not for them at all. So they may get, you know, get just um stuck in, oh yeah, this is not for me. Well, this piece was for you, but
Exactly.
she never realized about that. Maybe she's
Right.
so unconscious about what she's doing wrong, or she doesn't want to accept that. I mean, could be many things, but that's the problem with training. While coaching is so individualized that you really get a change from that.
Right. I agree
Yeah.
with that.
Hmm.
Sure. Yeah.
So this is a process that you can follow to talk to her next time. Mhm. So mostly this is the gap process. You'll find it in the book. And first thing is goal setting. Try to define the purpose. What do you expect? But it's what you or what her is expecting. Maybe you can try to find, okay, what's bothering you at work, or what is what's wrong, and maybe she can tell, well, people are not following what I say. It's okay. So that will be our purpose, to talk about how to help you get through ideas to other people, for instance. Okay. Sometimes, as you as a leader, you may want to define the purpose, which could be fine, but usually it should be something that they both agree. It's just you defining the purpose and telling her, okay, this is what you need to change. Well, this is where you're going to have more. On the other side, you're going to have someone that is not listening to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, you're right.
You need the engagement. So, yes, this is difficult. This is not easy to do, but this is the way that you're going to be more successful in
Yeah,
the long term, to really have a change with the person.
absolutely.
So then, once you define what is the problem, or what is the purpose, and what do you expect, it will be great if you can, make her imagine how she could be successful. What she envisioned, and try to understand what is it that she needs to get there. Maybe why is it that she's? You said she was kind of loud when she was talking, or something, or
No, her body language. The only thing is her
burning.
body language is obviously is not really well. So you can tell that there is no kind of engaged or belong to. She's blunt in what she said. So her, I mean, she didn't look at it from positive perspective and how I do, but how I can become better.
Mm.
Yeah.
So sometimes body language maybe is something that it's hard for her to realize that she's doing something wrong.
Right.
Or so did you
Uh,
mention to her what did you
uh,
see exactly?
I mean, she's not really. Even if you bring a joke or something, you don't see her smiling. Okay, blunt. You can't really read her face at all. At all. Is not elaborating in something. So it's not easy to build dialogue of conversation with that. That's one of the things.
Mm.
And example, she trained people on certain things. She continuously talk, but kind of is she building a dialogue like you answer, I ask a question, she asks question, and about the answer, like building the. She's not kind of bi-directional
Mm.
communications.
She's just talking. She doesn't realize what other people are feeling about that.
No.
That's what you're saying?
Yes. Yes, that's one of the things. Despite she's smart, she's a smart girl, and the one of the thing is she is real young. She's just this is the first job for her, and her
Oh, okay.
experience is just year and a half, not much really. So uh, just graduated a year and a half, so she is not yet. I mean, grow. That's one of the things, and she's skilled in certain aspects. She's one of the only skilled in certain jobs, so she's the only one who do that. And The thing is now, maybe she feel power, but now I'm bringing another person with her so she can train, and she has to train others.
Okay. So this is something important, and you need to highlight that this is important, right?
Yeah.
But as she's young, this is a great opportunity for her to be developed. This is perfect because if she learns this now, if she changes this now, it's going to transform her career. And I also noticed that sometimes when people is so smart, they
Right.
are in the, there are these four dimensions that we talked about: the respect, empowerment, attention. So each of us has a preference for each of them.
Hmm.
So some people are more, here in, worrying for the people, more in the respect side. Others are more on the attention. So they focus on results, they focus on numbers. So this could be her. Maybe someone that knows exactly what she needs to do. She does it very well. She's very smart, but she doesn't focus on the people. She focuses on the process, right?
Right.
And on the
Right.
result. So she's saying, I'm explaining everything. So I'm explaining all the parts. I'm doing my speech perfectly. So that should be enough.
Yes. Yes.
And we all know that that is not enough. You also need to care about the people. So that's the
Absolutely.
part that she needs to understand. But you have to get there. You have to make her see what, hey, let's talk about this training. What could go wrong in this training? What could be your challenges? What do you see people, listening to you or not? Trying to get to asking those things so that she can see what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Agree with you.
Mm.
Agree with you.
And then the last part, the planning, is that actually she can, after that conversation, actually she can change something about her behavior. Maybe
Okay.
you say, okay, are you asking questions? No, I'm not asking. Okay, maybe you can start asking questions. Or I don't know. Based on the conversation, you will come up with something that, oh yeah, so maybe I need to listen more. That's what she says. And you say, okay, yeah, that will be okay. How can you plan to listen more? What are you gonna do next time? So she
Hmm.
can define a specific action item that she will do. Mm?
Okay.
So basically, this is very simple. This is how the conversation should go. It's just 3 stages. The longest is the asking, trying to find out what's the problem, why she cannot do that, why she thinks she's okay doing that, and trying to make her see that whatever she's doing is not impacting the rest.
Okay.
But it's very important that close the gap in a way that the person feel empowered to change and confident and hopeful about the future.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the thing that most feedback programs don't have, is that the person leaves the feedback session with an idea that they're doing something wrong and that they may need to, maybe kicked out next time or things like that. So
Hmm.
instead of that, she needs to leave. Okay, so this is what I can do. Oh, so thinking about something positive, about something hopeful, so that she really takes that into action.
Yeah. 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 I got it.
Do
Absolutely.
you have questions about that? Do you get how this works?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm absolutely agree with you, and I agree definitely with you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, some other questions. How often? Because some people, yeah, yes, I do one-on-one. Yes, it's once a year. Hmm.
Ah.
Yeah. So,
Uh,
really, the one-on-one, there's no perfect. It depends on the process. It depends on the person. But the clear thing is that you need to bring the one-on-one meeting whenever it's needed.
okay.
For instance, you go to this session with her, you both do a training for someone else, and then you realize she's doing this again, right? So if you wait for a week to tell her that, or maybe you wait for when you have your session, she won't get it. She won't understand because it's not connected to what happened. But if
Right.
right after the training you say, hey, how did you feel? What happened? What do you see? I said, well, I see that people are not listening to me, or people didn't understand. That's when you can say, okay, this is what, let's think about how we can do this in a different way. Okay.
Yeah.
It's trying to bring the coaching or the one-on-one meeting as soon as you need it. If nothing happens, maybe just have once a week, at least a touch or a conversation, but open it up all the time. Because sometimes people say, well, I'm available, so you can contact me anytime. And some employees will not reach you. Some
Yes.
employees are shy and they will not reach out to you. Some others, they just want to grow and they will keep, contacting you once a week or every day. Just so it's better that you establish some expectations. Okay, once a week is good.
Yeah.
But if you need to have a conversation before that, you can always schedule it. But at least you ensure that everyone has, a conversation with you often, especially if you work remotely. If you work face to face, maybe you can have these one-on-ones informally, as you said. You just take them outside and talk about something, and that's perfect.
Absolutely.
But when you're not seeing them every day in the office, maybe one-on-ones are more needed. That you intentionally try to reach this person, on a weekly basis at least.
Right.
Do you have any questions on this particularly?
No, I agree with you. Go ahead.
All right, so some more tips on coaching. One-on-one coaching needs to be more often with a remote team, just as I told you. As the leader, speak only 20%. So this is, again, very contrary to what we normally do. We think that as the leader, we are the ones that need to tell them what to do, explain them what they're doing wrong. And usually we are the ones talking all the time.
Yeah.
And
Agree.
that's exactly the other way around. So this
Uh-huh.
is more like you guide them, you facilitate the session, but this is about them feeling hurt, them saying what they think is wrong or what they think is doing fine, and them providing goals, providing options, providing solutions. But if they are
Yeah.
not the ones seeing that and offering those options, then this is not a change for the future. This is something that they will just patch like a band-aid and they will not change really.
Sure.
Mhm.
Agree with you. Absolutely.
And the other thing, of course, that we also talked about is by questioning instead of demanding. The coachee gets engaged in their own solution and is more eager to act. Mhm. So bringing more questions, asking them what they feel, asking them what they think, is gonna engage them more in changing something, more than if you just simply tell them this is what you have to do.
Okay.
Hmm?
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Absolutely. Yeah.
So some things that can enhance communication are called belonging cues, and this is maybe something that, for instance, you can share with her. Is, for instance, active listening. It's important that you are seeing to the person in the eye, if possible. If you are remote, well, maybe turn on the camera. Having frequent interactions, talking about vulnerability. That means that it's not about just talking about results and the scorecard, but also talking about, okay, did something happen to you? How are you feeling? How's your family?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
they feel bad. What are you feeling bad? Not just trying to avoid those conversations that are really difficult. Again, sometimes you need to provide a bad feedback. Okay, this may put the person in a vulnerable position, but depending how you talk about it, it could bring something good out of that vulnerability and help the person improve.
Right.
Sometimes you may discover that that person feels like they are less, or feel that they are not good enough. They have the imposter syndrome, things like that, and the conversation may help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Continuous feedback, that's something else. Whenever there's something that you need to tell them, just talk about it. Don't be afraid, to speak and tell them this is what I'm seeing very clearly. And the last one has to do with cohesion during losses. Sometimes when the company, has a loss, or when there's a mistake that happened within the team, or something not doing well, that's where most companies tend to blame people, start going to threat, doing the bad feedback session. And
Yeah.
that's where, on the other side, if you use that loss, are okay, this is a time where we have to work together to improve this. That's cohesion during losses, where you get more together instead of got apart when a bad thing happens.
Right.
They always say this, that whenever someone in the family dies, or there's a very critical situation, either it brings your marriage to a good
Or,
situation, or it
yeah,
breaks it.
yeah. Or even sometimes when the team, when the work colleague resign, that will
Mhm.
shake the team sometimes. So when someone leave from the team, that also some people feel losses.
Yes, that's right. How do you address that?
Well, this is now where the leader need to be in, and I mean, set the stage that leaving is very normal process. If someone left the organization, this is people need to understand that this is normal habits or normal accidents, incidents that can happen with every organization, so they don't feel that this is a threat or that shake the organization, though there is something wrong against their stability, especially it might impact on the stability and security of them.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's very true. It depends how the person lives. Sometimes if you have to fire them, or if they decide to go to a better company, or whatever reason, it,
Yeah,
it it's hard for people. But that's a great opportunity for you to put them together and talk about it. A lot of companies hide those things, try not to talk about, no, he left, we don't know why, we don't care. And if
yeah,
people feel bad about it, it's something to talk about. The other day, I was having a client that she was concerned because 25% of her department has been fired, and the operations are going to India,
yeah,
out
yeah,
from the States. And she was worried because she was, you know, uh, more than 60 years. So for her, she was waiting to retire there. And this is a bad thing for her, right? She doesn't want to change again. So this is something that you need to discuss with your manager, with your people. I mean, you cannot just say, well, everything is fine. People don't believe that.
absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity for you to talk about it.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And also coaching by example, because that's also very important. Sometimes you may say something, but if you don't do the same thing, that's where it doesn't count. Like, people will see you more than listen to what you're saying. So if you realize, Fatty, one of the things is, talk 20%, then coach by example. So basically, you don't even need to talk, right?
Yes,
uh they will just follow the same thing that you do. So be careful on how you do things, what you do, and try to you know be exactly what you want them to be. That's the best way to teach them. So for instance, make sure that you're listening to them by not interrupting, listening what they have to say. A good coaching strategy is to summarize what the person said and then asking questions to clarify. Sometimes when
right.
people listen to what you say about them, they realize, oh, did I say this? So they start thinking about that, and maybe you understood differently, and they can clarify that or can add more information. But make them talk. There are many strategies in coaching that make them talk, so that
Yes,
you can try to see what's going on. Look in the eye
exactly.
if possible. That has to do with the previous thing we mentioned about listening, active listening. Encourage to express, open different channels, could be on the phone, could be on Zoom, could be, with us meet, different ways to express. Sometimes, maybe anonymously, maybe use Slack, maybe use emails. Find different ways for them to express what they want to say. Sometimes it's an
Agree.
idea, sometimes it's a concern, sometimes it's a complaint. So different channels for that. Then also it's very important to avoid judging. Again, we talked about expectations, about thinking that people think the way we do, or and that's not the case. Everyone thinks different things. So maybe, some people you may feel, well, why is she crying about this? This is a stupid thing.
Yeah,
This is the, I don't know, John left the group. Why is she so upset? Just get over it. But for some reason,
exactly.
she's been impacted by that. So then you need to try to help her, not just say, well, you shouldn't be feeling this way. Yeah.
Exactly.
That you just need to understand how she feels, and that's it.
Right.
Uh, and always create space to solve conflict. Do not avoid conflict. If there's something wrong, people is feeling bad about something, just by hiding it, you're not gonna solve it. It's gonna get worse. People gonna gossip, gonna talk about that on the back, and that's never a good thing to have.
Okay.
So you are the
Yes.
first that needs to bring transparency to the team as much as possible.
Right. And giving them space to talk.
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. And see if they complain about something, how you can help them get there. Try to listen to them all the time. Mm. If they are complaining about something, there must be something that you can improve.
Yes.
Mm.
Agree with you. Yeah.
So, some ideas on how you can help by coaching could be leadership coaching, meaning that you coach them as a leader, right? Other options could be peer coaching, other people coaching others, like team members coaching themselves. Okay, team coaching, like, I don't know, you can have like body programs, or people that, peers that they just, have their coworker and they always talk, with themselves. That's something that you can do. So, because sometimes people just need to talk with someone, and if you don't provide the space, this is not enough. Sometimes you provide the space, but it's just you talking to them, and maybe, like, again, sometimes it's not enough because they already know you, or they don't want to talk about something in particular with you, but they would talk about that with someone else.
Right.
So you can provide options. For peer coaching is one, group coaching is another one. Sometimes the ERGs, for instance, when you have minorities together, like women together, Latin people together, or that it's group coaching. They just coach each other. They talk about things that bother them that are very similar. Mm? That could be something. Or these groups for people that are in recovery for drugs or addictions. That's group coaching too.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Reverse mentoring, that's a nice one. Reverse mentoring is when an employee can help you, can teach
Yes.
you something, which could be that this person that you mentioned, maybe she can teach you this skill that she has that no one else has, right?
Absolutely.
Or maybe
Yes.
he can teach you about something, a tech related issue. Maybe they know how to use Slack and you don't, or maybe they know how to use a system and you don't. So that's also important, to consider that they can teach you something that will show your vulnerability, that you also are humble, that, everyone can learn from everyone. This is the diamond that is inverted, right? That anyone can learn from anyone.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And the last one is external coaching. That, again, you can also hire external coaches, which are going to be very helpful because they don't know anything about the organization. You're totally outside of it. They don't have any impact or any gain from that conversation, because many times employees feel like if they discuss something with you, you will always have the company interest first, or
Yeah.
your interest first. While an external coach, we don't have any interest at all, you know.
Exactly.
We don't even have to promote that the person goes back to us kind of like a therapist, okay, have 6 months of session. We don't even expect that. As a coach, you just need to help them whenever they need it. And if they want to have more sessions, great. And if they don't, that's it. But always focusing on the person. And it's easier for them to see in someone that is external.
Okay, I
Mhm.
agree with you.
So do you use any of these options?
Use actually leadership coaching,
Hmm.
peer coachings. That's mostly using leadership coaching. I utilize that with my the one who took my previous position. So I coach her
Hmm.
for a while. That's the stuff that I did. And also now peer coaching. Well, we do that a lot. A lot of people sometimes come to me and coaching them of, especially career development, career progression, and etc.
Right.
The planning, self development plans, and etc.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, you may want to try the other ones, like you said, reverse mentoring, group coaching. Those are also other good alternatives that are free because they are available in the company.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So, what you're gonna have as an exercise, of course, not today, not now, but you can plan it for this person or whoever you want, and then I want to see the results in our next session. So try to use all these template that I provide to have that conversation and see how that works. Always remembering that you need to try to speak just 20%. So try to be there to ask the questions, but not to speak. Okay.
Yes.
Try to ask the questions just to gather more information from them and make them talk more.
Right.
And try to define something together. What is she gonna do? And then you can see if that happened or not, if that improved or not.
Of course, I'll try to do that and running this type of template exercise with her and see how's things going on, how it works. I think it is maybe opening a dialogue again, which hasn't been done for a while with her particularly. So that's something that could open our eyes for opportunity for improvement.
All right. Do you have any questions on this chart? How to approach it or anything at all?
No, thank you. I got it all. I think I explained it very, very well, and I'm very excited to execute it.
Okay, okay. Oh, great. You also, like, if you're reading the chapter, you're gonna get a lot of information there on how to do it, you know,
Sure.
better. What are, some more tips, more in detail.
Yes.
And just, this is just a summary for you to remember. Mm. And Mi culture offers only feedback when formal performance review is needed. Speak 80% and focus on results, while a weak culture needs to more provide frequent feedback as needed, ask more questions than telling them what to do, speak only 20% or the less possible, and focus on desires and needs more than results that make threat them.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Sure. Sure.
Well, this is it for today. Hope it was useful to you. I have uploaded all the YouTube sessions,
Sure.
so you just can access to that link. I gave you the link, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I do have it. Yeah.
you have all the previous sessions there, and we'll upload this today, and I will upload the
Very
presentation.
good. That's
And
great.
then
I love it. Actually, that's a great session today. It's really it's a practical session.
yes, yes, very practical. Yep. So
Yeah.
it would be great if you can do this exercise. You decide when, you decide with who, but I would like to know about the results. Maybe you
Um,
cannot bring the results for next class, which is Friday, but
yes.
I'm looking forward
Plus,
for the results Sunday.
I'll try to do that coming Thursday. I think not tomorrow. After tomorrow, I will meet with the employee with that and see how it is going. It will. I need to break up the ice, baby.
Yes, yes. Breaking the ice is important.
Right.
Try to go and ask questions, more personal questions, and see how she's feeling.
Yeah.
So again, it may be a change for her because she's not used to have these type of conversations with you.
Sure.
But it's never a bad time to try to change and see how it works.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, agree with you. Agree with you. Sure.
All right.
Thank you so much for today.
Thank you, Fadi. All the best. Talk to you on Friday. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Liziane. Thank you. Bye.